Since this month I have two full-time team members here in the studio. One of them is Sana, she's filming me right now, and the other one is Matthias, who will be editing most videos from now on. However, we do have a big problem here in the studio. One of our cameras is 8K and the other ones are all 4K, and that means that my old gaming PC, which Matthias is currently using to edit these videos, is definitely not strong enough. So we're building a crazy gaming and editing beast. So initially Deepcool contacted me to promote this cooler here, which by the way looks amazing. However, I replied to the email and I said that I would make the video if they could send me a whole PC with a 4090, 128 gigabytes of memory, 14 terabytes of SSD storage, and of course a cute anime motherboard. I want to start with unboxing the case. By the way, I forgot to mention that we also have the newest Intel Core i9-14900K. It just released. It's a 24-core CPU. Matthias is gonna love this for editing. This feels like Christmas. However, it's Christmas for Matthias instead of for me. The case looks absolutely amazing. I'm really looking forward to checking out this info display. CPU usage, GPU usage. I really want to see the numbers appearing here when the PC gets turned on. Now, one of the reasons I'm so excited about this build is that Deepcool sent me all white parts. Even the power supply is completely white, so this build is gonna be really clean. By the way, not sure if you've seen it already, but there's an anime girl on our motherboard, and I think we have a limited edition, so I definitely want to check that out. However, before we dive into the whole build, I want to quickly thank the sponsor of this video, Owned. Want to live stream but not spend days on finding great stream graphics? Owned Pro is the ultimate stream graphics companion. It now features the scene builder, which allows you to very quickly set up a complete overlay by choosing one of their free or premium designs. After personalizing your overlay, you can add it as a browser source in OBS Studio and boom, you have your first complete streaming scene. You can also add your own stream graphics, and with their live widgets, labels like recent follower are easily customizable to fit your design. And it gets better because Owned Pro now also features a new AI assistant. You can ask it any streaming related questions, for example ideas for channel point rewards. Owned Pro is completely free to use, but in case you want to upgrade, there will be a discount code in the description. Now for the motherboard, apparently we got a waifu edition from China. Even if we open it up, on the inside there's an anime girl greeting us. And I did look for this motherboard online, the Wi-Fi S version. I can't find it anywhere. Now I'm not 100% sure, but what I assume is that this is a China version, because as you can see, even on the motherboard itself there's an anime girl, and you can look it up yourself. The only thing I found is a Reddit post of someone asking where he can get this version. And even on that version from the Reddit post, the girl isn't on the motherboard itself, it's only on the box. Look at this, even the CPU protector has a girl on it. There are also stickers in the box. And then this here, a plastic cutout to put in your case. So there are two parts. I think we can push this out. I definitely don't want to break it. Okay, and then we can just push it in like this, and then it can stand in our PC case. So the first thing I'm gonna quickly install is the memory. Together we have 128 gigabytes. It's also RGB, so it's gonna be really clean in this case. This is gonna make sure that even Premiere Pro will be smooth, and I think it's gonna make editing videos much faster for Matthias. Now I wanna take off these cover plates. This is a 2 terabyte Kingston Fury. The speed is 7.3 gigabytes per second. This NVMe system drive is going to be crazy fast. Let's push it on and then lock it over here. Now besides the main system drive, I bought 3 4 terabyte NVMe drives for Matthias to be editing on. So I'm gonna combine two of them to form 8 terabytes, which he will use as active editing space. And then the other 4 terabyte will be for Premiere Pro as a scratch drive and preview drive. So the SSD in the middle will be running Windows and Premiere Pro, and then the 3 SSDs on the bottom will be handling all the footage and the project. Now, next I wanted to check out the RGB fans, because figuring out how to connect everything is usually kind of an annoying task. And today wasn't any different. I think I figured everything out. There was an RGB controller. I disconnected most things, and everything should be connected to these 2 pins that will go in the motherboard. I'm gonna turn the case, the window comes off magnetically, and this way you can just disconnect the whole thing. So that means we have 3 intake fans on the front, then 2 intake fans from the bottom, then there's 1 going out at the back, and 3 going out through the pump on the top. There were extra long screws that came with the case to connect these fans on the bottom. Not sure if 9 against 7 fans will make a difference, but Deepcool sent them to us, so I figured I could just install them. Now, before we install the motherboard in the case, I want to attach the CPU cooler. This is a 720mm liquid cooler from Deepcool, and it has really beautiful infinity type RGB on the front. It's also completely white, so it perfectly fits this build. So while the case is completely open, I also wanted to install the power supply. It's a 1200 watt completely white and fully modular one. Deepcool definitely seems to like all white parts, and I'm all for it. I'm pretty sure the 4090 is going to eat up half of the power. I'm still pretty sad about the fact that the GPU is going to be black, since even the cables of the power supply are white. I'll definitely have to consider the painting of the GPU. Alright, and as you can see, the power supply will be hidden from the front. By the way, I am so looking forward to seeing this info screen in action. I especially want to see the GPU usage of the 4090 in Premiere when Matthias is rendering something. By the way, as we're on the topic of the GPU, this is a GPU support bracket. I've seen them but not pre-installed in a case. It will support the GPU when it's sagging down, so that's pretty cool. Now, we've had some more trouble with these fans here, also because apparently the fans of the cooler are not RGB, but Deepcool sent us 3 extra ones, and I thought they were for in the case somewhere, which is why I installed 2 of them on the bottom. But the reason they sent them is to use them right here on the radiator to make that RGB as well. So before finishing up this build, I want to test if everything works. Okay, so let's see if all of them work. Moment of truth. I think they do. So the CPU cooler is the only thing that doesn't work now. All the rest of the fans do look great. Okay, we found the problem. The cable wasn't plugged in. So I think if we connect these, the cooler will light up. And look at that, this is gorgeous. Alright, we've made quite some progress on the build. The CPU cooler is installed. We connected all the fans. Also the motherboard cables, which are always a hassle. But I need to check which power supply cable the 4090 needs. And look at this beast. You see that it's big in videos. But man, when you see one in real life, this is absolutely nuts. Look at how thick this is. It's also very heavy and it's barely gonna fit in our case. Look at this. We should absolutely paint this white. We will in the future. And this is what I was looking for, the power connector. So the motherboard had a cable that said 600 watts. And I think this is gonna fit the 4090. Yes, there we go. Now, what I did next was finishing this whole PC because I want to start testing games on it, and I also want to test some effects in Premiere Pro that we weren't able to use before. This 4090 definitely should be able to handle it. Since this PC has crazy specs, it should be able to handle everything we throw at it, but I still want to test it. I think the fans are gonna look absolutely gorgeous when we turn on this PC. The case also had a pre-installed GPU support bracket, which comes in very handy with this 4090 that's really heavy. And something extra that I installed is a 10GB network card, as this will give Matthias a much faster connection to our server. Alright, so I've connected the PC to the TV, as you can see, and I cannot wait to test some games on the OLED ultra-wide. It's 240 Hz. I believe that might be a great use of this 4090 if you want to play competitive games in 4K resolution, or at least high resolution, with an ultra-wide like that in 240 Hz. Now that screen is 4K, so I want to test Alan Wake on that. We got it with the GPU, and as you can see, we have a scratch drive. That's one of the NVMe drives in here. However, there are 2 unallocated ones, and I wanted to show you this because some people don't know. You can add 2 discs, then right click one of them, click on new spend volume, and as you can see, it will combine the volume. I'm gonna call it editing drive because this is the huge volume that Matthias will use to edit all the videos really fast. Now, together with the GPU, we got Alan Wake 2 for free. The TV is 4K, so really looking forward to the test. Okay, so full screen, 4K. Okay, so I set everything to the maximum. Alright, so we're getting about 30 FPS, but all the ray tracing settings are set to the maximum. So I'm gonna turn off ray tracing, and I think this alone is gonna be a huge change. Okay, we're getting about 58 FPS. However, the car definitely looks worse right now than it did before. I'm gonna show you the car without and then with ray tracing. So this here is without, and this is the same car with ray tracing. The difference is huge, it's much more realistic. However, if you're playing the game with everything turned to the maximum in 4K, the game is not gonna be smooth, even on a 4090, that's crazy. So I just bought and launched Modern Warfare 3. 3. I'm entering a gun game right now and I want to check the FPS. I've set my graphics to the Ultra preset. Currently in the corner I can see we have 240 FPS, which is the maximum set in the settings. As you can see, the preset is set to Ultra and my display's refresh rate is 240 Hz. You can see the resolution right here, and I have to honestly say this is so smooth. Well, of course it's 240 FPS, but it's crazy that we're reaching this frame rate while the Ultra preset is active. It's been a while since I've played Call of Duty, by the way. I just entered the gun game. I have to say, Call of Duty on this screen with that card, this is an amazing experience. Okay, so this here is a complete project of one of our last videos, which, by the way, Matthias is currently editing from this drive. I'm really excited about it. This is the Samsung T9. They finally came out with another one. Now that Matthias will have this crazy PC, me and Zana will be able to use this drive here to organize all the footage of the videos we're actively filming and then just transfer them easily to the PC. And I'm going to export this whole project with the new PC. After that, I will do the same thing with the old one, and I will put the export times on the screen. I think the 4090 is gonna be at least 3 to 4 times as fast, and that's really gonna change our workflow. Now I wanna deeply thank Deepcool for giving this PC. It's gonna be a huge help in the studio here. I will put all of the links in the description. If the YouTube algorithm knows you, then that video will look very interesting to you, so maybe you wanna click it. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope that I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day.